Hello, everybody. This is Melvese, the author. I'm here live tonight, and I am going to read and revise uh, my book, my novel. I am refining it like a diamond. So we are up to chapter 15. Yes, while I am uh, reading and revising this chapter live. If I stumble on any writing tips or editing tips or publishing tips that I can share with you, I will be doing that. So if you are a writer, stick around because you might learn something. And if you're a reader, stick around because you will enjoy the story. And if I just happen to pop up on your screen, stick around because everything happens for a reason. So it must be a reason why I popped up on your screen. So stick around so you can find out why. So we are on chapter 15. Someone to look up to. August 2005. Naomi slept a total of 30 minutes before the nightmares began. A Butterflick premiere. She jumped out of bed in a cold sweat, washed up, threw on a t-shirt and pair of jeans, and left the inn to go for a drive. On her way down Dina Lane, she pulled into the 24-hour convenience store to pick up a few essentials, and then she drove toward Bly Towers. The area was just as pretty in the middle of the area was just as pretty in the middle of the night as it was during the day. Not like her hometown, where there was nothing but 15-story brick buildings with concrete walls and broken elevators. Riding through Blah Tower's parking lot, she was mesmerized by the beautiful lampposts lining the sidewalks, brightly flickering like firelight. There was a couple with lips locking, standing behind a car. She drove past them. Okay, says past, P-A-T here, P-A-S-T, well, it should be P-A-S-S. She drove past them. She drove past them slowly, and getting closer, she recognized the woman was Kim. Squinting her eyes, Naomi looked harder. Oh shit, that's Preston. Her mouth dropped. She sped up, hoping they would not see her. On her way home, on her way home, she could not help but be happy for Kim. She chuckled, thinking, "Why would Kim need a vibrator when she has the real deal?" Now, you have to go back to watch the video on chapter. Ooh, what chapter was that? That was the Tea Party chapter, chapter 7. Yes, you can go back and watch the video for chapter 7, and then you will find out why Naomi is making that reference about Kim. Um, yeah. Her thoughts changed when she was reminded that things were getting too comfortable in her new surroundings. If she was able to find out about Preston and Kim's secret, how difficult would it be for Butter to locate her? It was time to get a different car and dye or cut her hair. She didn't want to run the risk of being identified. It was time to get back to reality. Naomi is on the run. Riding down the highway, she silently prayed, "Lord, please help me steer off of the path I've created for myself and give me the vision to see the path you have chosen for me. I am grateful for all I have received and prepared to accept all you have to give. I'm ready now for the family we spoke of so often. When Naomi arrived at the office the next morning, she was sleepy from being up all night. Uh, I think that is a place right here where we could initiate, activate, showing instead of telling. So instead of saying she was sleepy, how about Naomi stepped off the elevator the next morning, uh, yawning, yawning and rubbing her eyes, something like that. I don't know, something that shows you that she was sleepy instead of telling you. Y'all just have to bear with me for a second because I have to write it down. Naomi stepped off the elevator the next morning, yawning and rubbing her eyes. Yeah. So here goes a writing tip for you. I've mentioned this before, but you might be new here. Perhaps this is your first time seeing me live, doing one of these videos. When you are working on a piece of literature, when you think about anything that you may believe should be written in your book, write it down, capture it, catch it. Call yourself and leave yourself a voicemail. Do a voice recording on your phone. Put it in your notes on your phone. Grab whatever piece of paper you can find and write it down. Do whatever you have to do to make sure that you capture the thought when you think about it the first time. Because if you do not catch it as soon as you think about it, it does not matter how good it is. Believe me when I tell you, by the time you actually sit down or work on your manuscript, you might remember that you thought about something real good, but you ain't gonna remember what you thought about that was so good. Okay? Believe me, I'm telling you. I know. Been there, done that. Okay? Write it down as soon as you think about it. Okay, so that's why I wrote that down. And I was thinking here, and when I pull up the manuscript on my computer, I will fix that sentence. So we're going to say that Naomi stepped off the elevator the next morning, yawning and rubbing her eyes. The office was quiet and the phones were practically dead. She began to doze off while sitting there with her elbows on the desk, head resting on her hands, and she was startled when Kim approached. "Are you okay?" Naomi jumped. I'm just bored and a little tired," she yawned. Mm, okay. So here's another writing tip for you right here. If you can avoid using the same word twice in the same sentence or the same paragraph or the same page, avoid using the same word twice. So if y'all recall, I just rewrote that sentence and said that she got off the elevator and she was yawning and rubbing her eyes. So now here we are, two paragraphs down later, but it's not much space, just a few lines. Naomi jumped. I'm just bored and a little tired," she yawned. So I'm either going to have to rewrite that first sentence where I use the word yawn, or I'm going to have to actually, we could just take it out altogether right here. We don't even need it. We already know that she's tired. She was yawning and rubbing her eyes, and now she just said she's tired. She was dozing off. She don't need to yawn or do anything else right there. So we're just gonna take that out. I'm headed across the street to get breakfast for Preston. Can I bring you a cup of coffee? Let me ask Sammy to cover the front desk. I'm going to walk over there with you. Maybe the fresh air will help me wake up. When they got on the elevator, Naomi looked at Kim's. Okay. Ah, hmm. Okay. Elevator. I use elevator in that rewritten sentence. So I'm going to have to make the spot where she says this to Kim a different place. So I won't have to use the word elevator. So Naomi looked at Kim's bright face with a smile. So, how was your weekend? Kim grinned with a dazed look in her eyes. It was good. I had a very good weekend. Naomi knew why the stupendous smile remained on Kim's face, but she didn't say anything. While crossing the street, she questioned Kim. How's school? Great. Summer classes will be over next week. I was thinking maybe when I graduate next year, I'll move to New York or Seattle for, says for a couple of years. I'm going to say for a while because I just don't want to say years again. Um, I'll move to New York or Seattle for a while. I'm not sure. I hope I made the right decision picking economics for my major. I probably should have chosen education, maybe teach preschool. I like children. I'm sure you made the right choice, Naomi assured her. If it makes you happy, so I'm going to take out Naomi assure her. So that is another thing that I am doing, cleaning up this book. It's a lot of overuse of character names, and most of that is occurring um, in dialogue to identify who is speaking. But if there's only two characters speaking, then you don't have to keep writing so and so said and so asked or so and so. You don't have to keep doing that because you know every time you see a new paragraph with quotation marks, it's another character speaking. And if only two characters are having a conversation, then you know that this line is that character, that line is this character, this line is that character. So a lot of the overuse of the names is coming from unnecessary text, basically, just a whole bunch of unnecessary words. But we're gonna fix it. We're gonna fix it. That's what we're doing. We fixing it right now. Um, okay. So I'm sure you made the right choice. If it makes you happy and helps you prosper, then you are definitely going in the right direction. And if you have a wonderful man by your side, you'll have plenty of children of your own someday. Things can't go wrong. You're probably right, Kim said happily. I know I'm right. Kim stopped walking and faced Naomi. Can I tell you something personal? Sure. I met a man and he is so wonderful to me. I was surprised that he would be attracted to someone like me. Why would you say that? It says, ask Naomi. But I'm going to take that out. I'm not the best looking woman in town. People will probably think I'm an Ew. People will probably think I'm unattractive on his arm. Kim responded with a solemn expression. Who cares what people think? All that matters is how the two of you feel about each other. You're right. It's just that this man is everything I could ever want in a man. He's handsome, intelligent, successful, honest, open, courteous, and generous. Oh Lord, he's wonderful. Says exclaim Kim. I'm gonna take that out. I can tell you're glowing like a neon sign. I can't help it. We haven't been together long, but I think I'm in love. I'm not going to tell him though. I want to be certain that he truly does want someone like me. Why wouldn't Preston choose a woman as intelligent and beautiful as you? I've been trying to figure out why he would. Kim suddenly stopped mid sentence. Wait a minute. How do you know I was talking about Preston? Oh gosh, if you know, that means Darlene knows. Does everybody know? So it says Kim panicked. There's another spot that we could show instead of telling. Kim panicked. Let's say, okay. So you telling this you confide in her and telling her that you met this wonderful man, and she's encouraging you and telling you just be happy you found this man, and I could tell you happy. And then she mentions the man's name, and you never told her the man's name. Wait a minute, how do you know who I was talking about? Now you worry because oh my goodness, if you know, Darlene must know. Darlene is the office queen, gossip queen, right? So if you've been following this story, first of all, if you haven't been following the story, go back to whatever platform you are watching this video on now, and you can see the previous chapters and find out about these characters here and this storyline and everything. So you know that these women work at a law firm in Preston. Kim is a new employee. She's only been there for a few months, and she's Preston's secretary. And now apparently there's something going on between Kim and Preston, right? Now that's not something you would want everybody in the office to know. You don't want everybody to know that. So now y'all are outside on your way to get coffee, and you find out, oh my goodness, how did you know I was talking about Preston? Oh gosh, if you know, that means Darlene knows. Does everybody know? And Kim is panicking. What shows she's panicking? Maybe she started looking. Oh my goodness, does everybody know? That's my first reaction. So that's what Kim was getting ready to do. Okay, y'all. Now, how do we write that? Okay, Kim started looking around, maybe hoping no one could hear their conversation, hoping no one they knew heard their conversation. I don't know. I'll probably change that I'll probably change that action, but for now, this is just to make note that we need to show Kim panicking instead of saying or telling that she panicked. Okay. As big as Darlene's mouth is, if she knew, you would have heard by now. Knowing her, she probably would have gone directly to Preston for confirmation. Well, how did you find out? Last night I went for a drive and I saw a couple hugging in the parking lot at Bly Towers. It made me feel good to see two people in love. It reminded me of way back when me and Naomi stopped herself and took a deep breath. Anyway, she continued, while I drove past them, I noticed it was you and Preston. I sped up so you wouldn't see me. I wasn't going to mention it to you or anyone else. Let's get inside and place our order. I completely forgot, whispered Kim. Kim whispered, blushing from embarrassment. Oh, Naomi, it happened so innocently. One night we decided to go to Sakari's for dinner after working late. We were talking about my schoolwork when I noticed he was staring at me. He had this mesmerizing look in his eyes, and then he just came out and asked me for a date. I was stunned and didn't know what to say. I couldn't imagine what he saw in me. My hair was in a ponytail. I'm an A cup, and he never seen my legs. He could have any woman he wants. Do you think maybe he's playing with me? You don't think that he just wanted to screw his secretary or something, do you? I mean, he doesn't seem like that type of man. I would bet any amount of money that he's sincere, but then again, you never know. I hope I didn't make the wrong decision. Stop analyzing. I can tell that Preston is a man who looks beyond big tits. Okay. Stop analyzing. I can tell that Preston is a man who looks beyond big tits and a fat ass. I don't see him as the type to screw his secretary just for the hell of it. I don't believe he would allow that type of drama in the office. You must be special to him. From the look in your eyes, I can see that you know deep down inside he is 100% honest with you. Although he is a man, so you never know. Kim looked worried. I'm just playing with you, girl. I'm sure that person is not like most other men. Whatever he's told you, he meant it. If he's made any promises, I'm sure he's going to keep them. Hmm. That's rare amongst. Uh, I'm not even going to say what this says right here because I don't want to be stereotypical. And I don't think that it's a black man thing. I think it's a man thing. I'm just going to say that's rare. I'm just going to say that's rare and end it right there. It is rare. I just don't want to degrade black men. I'm sorry. I have four sons, four handsome, intelligent, prosperous black men. So I have a special place in my heart for black men. And so you would never, ever, ever hear me or any of my characters degrade a black man. I don't know what I was thinking about the day that I wrote that sentence, but today that applies to all men. All men. Hmm. Nothing wrong about black men. So we're going to say that's rare, period. It's sad, but it's true. Just be grateful for him and enjoy the ride all the way. God willing, it will be a never ending adventure. Naomi smiled, hoping she will one day learn to follow her own advice. Says hoping that, but we don't need that. We're gonna take that out. Amen to that. Being with Preston gives me such a feeling of exaltation. I thought I would never feel this way about another man. A bit of sorrow seemed to overshadow the gleam in Kim's voice. It's almost surreal. Ladies, your orders are ready, the cashier said. Somewhat confused by Kim's testament, Naomi said, "Girl, whatever you do, make sure you hold on to that feeling. Love is a very precious thing. Don't trade it in for anything." Thanks, Naomi. I feel better now that I've confided in you. It says Kim embraced Naomi, but we gotta say Kim hugged her some kind of way without using both of their names there. Anytime, little sister. Naomi smiled and they headed back to the office. Naomi, I know you would never do it, but I have to ask. Yeah, I'll definitely have to reword all of this to take Naomi's name out of here because her name is here 5 times and within like 10 lines. That's crazy. Naomi, I know you would never do it, but I have to ask, please don't tell anyone about me and Preston. Lorenz is the only one who knows. We try not to be seen together outside of the office, but between his work and my classes, we can't seem to get enough time alone together. You can be certain that I won't say a word, but if you really want your relationship to remain a secret, try to keep that glow out of your eyes when you and Preston are around Darlene. And don't let her see the two of you leave the office together. The last thing you want is for her to suspect anything. Thankfully, I haven't been concerned about Darlene seeing us leave together at night. She hasn't been working second shift much lately. Some nights when she's not there and Earl discovers I'm still around, he gives docs to me before he leaves the office. I'm usually here until 8 or 9 on the nights I don't have class, and I've been working for Earl every other weekend for the past 4 months. That's interesting. Now, let me ask you a question. I want to know why you let Darlene disrespect you. It says, that's interesting, said Naomi. We'll be taking said Naomi out. Now, let me ask you a question. I want to know why you let Darlene disrespect you. I'll just ignore her. I don't want to start any trouble. There's no such thing as starting trouble with Darlene because she is the epitome of trouble and she's always out of line. It's bad enough she talks shit about you when you're not around. It's another thing when the chick trashes you right in front of your face. It's necessary that you tell her about herself and hurt her feelings. Ooh, 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 ooh. Hey, I do not like that sentence. You need to tell her about herself and hurt her feelings. You need to tell her about herself. That okay. Like Naomi is a black chick from the hood. That's what she would have said. You need to tell her about herself. There's no such thing as starting trouble with Darlene because she is the epitome of trouble and she's always way out of line. It's bad enough she talks shit about you when you're not around. It's another thing when the chick trashes you right in front of your face. You need to tell her about herself. And if that doesn't work, just knock her ass out. I already told you, don't let me have to knock you out. Okay, it says, oh, if that doesn't work, just just knock her ass out. Naomi suggested. What we gonna take Naomi suggested out? We don't need that. She needs to be taught how to mind her own damn business. You need to set the record straight and stop being so passive. The next time she starts talking down to you, just look at her and say, do you have a problem? Because if you do, we can go outside and straighten it out right now. That's what you gotta do. Somebody trying to start some shade with you, like you got a problem because you know you can take this outside. So it's right now. In case y'all didn't know, I just happen to be a project chick from the Bronx, okay? Now I'm long gone, far away from that life, but that is the life that I lived for a very long time. So that's just what it is. Okay. Yeah. So the next time she starts talking down to you, just look at her and say, do you have a problem? Because if you do, we could go outside and straighten it out right now. It would probably be best if I didn't do that. It said Kim, but we're gonna take that out. Kim said, okay. It would probably be best if I didn't do that. Darlene would just make a big scene. She's not worth it. Last semester in my psychology class read a book titled How to Master BS 101. Research shows that one of the best ways to handle BS is to ignore it. People like Darlene are starving for attention, be it negative or positive. If you ignore them when they display negative actions and only acknowledge their positive actions, they will be less likely to start unnecessary trouble. Hmm. Wow. Try it and see if that works. I understand that stress, Naomi, but sometimes when dogs bark too long and too loud, you have to shut them up. So we're gonna just say I understand that and take out stress, Naomi. We don't need that. Take that out. I understand that, but sometimes when dogs bark too long and too loud, you have to shut them up. You're probably right, Kim laughed. I appreciate all of your advice, Naomi. You've really been a good friend. We should hang out sometime. That'll be cool. We can have a few drinks and you can fill me in on some more ways to deal with BS. One way to deal with BS is not to have time for it, said Kim. Kim said, we're gonna take that out. That is so true. That is so true. Who got time for BS? I ain't got no time for BS. Don't even bring it over here. That's one way to deal with it, though. I ain't got no time for it. If you ain't got no time for it, and somebody come up to you or some BS, you could just shut it right down right there because you ain't got no time for that. Okay, let me back it up a couple of sentences. So you're probably right, Kim laughed. I appreciate all of your advice, Naomi. You've really been a good friend. We should hang out sometime. That'll be cool. We can have a few drinks and you can fill me in on some more ways to deal with BS. One way to deal with BS is not to have time for it. Maybe that's my problem. Time is something I have more than enough of. Well, maybe you should try to find something to occupy your time. Now, normally I would not like to have time there like that, but I'm going to leave it like this because it's dialogue and this is just the conversation that they are having. Well, maybe you should try to find something to occupy your time. Have you thought about taking a course at MMU? That would keep you busy and fill your brain with the wealth of knowledge at the same time. So, okay, now that one I'm going to take out because that's just now I'm overloaded. So that would keep you busy and fill your brain with a wealth of knowledge. There you go, and period, and right there. Naomi lightly shook her head no. That sounds good, but I'm not sure. I understand a lot of older adults don't want to sit in a classroom. I imagine it can be a little awkward. Oh gosh. At times, Kim laughed. Okay, I can imagine it can be a little awkward, period. I gotta take times out of there. Are you calling me old? Naomi was startled. At 29, she hardly considered herself old. Hmm. I might try to say that a different way. Just because I don't want to use old, and old back to back like that. Stepping off of the elevator, Kim said, no, I didn't mean it like that. I just wanted to tell you that if you prefer not to have to sit in a classroom, you have the alternative of taking classes online. All you need is a computer, internet access. But I have to warn you, online classes do take up a lot of time, so be careful what you wish for. You might go from having too much time to not having enough. Thanks for the tip. I might just look into that. Naomi found the idea of taking college courses online extremely appealing. Hmm. I think that we could just say Naomi found the idea extremely appealing. I don't think we need of taking college courses online there. Okay. Naomi found the idea extremely appealing. She managed to graduate from high school without getting pregnant, despite the fact that she played hooky a lot. It was not hard to spend all day having sex and getting drunk instead of sitting in an overcrowded classroom listening to a boring teacher who didn't give a shit whether the teens learned anything at all. Taking classes over the internet would allow her the opportunity to get a degree and establish a real career when she finally felt safe enough to stay put in one place. Lord knows she prayed hard for that every single day, 2 and 3 times a day. And that is the end of chapter 15. If you are a writer, I hope you learned something. And if you are a reader, I hope you enjoyed the story. And if I just happen to pop up on your screen, I hope you know why now. I like that chapter. That's a cool chapter. Because usually when the chapter is from Naomi's point of view, you know, she's alone. She's not smiling, she's having a bad dream or, worried about, her surroundings or, trying to figure out, if she should stay or if she should go. So that was cool because she was actually, interacting. And you could see she's like warming up to Morgantown and she's warming up to the people and she's really thinking about staying there. But y'all will see what's going to happen with that as we get further into the story. So this book altogether has 40 chapters and we just finished chapter 15. So we are about a quarter of a way, a little more than a quarter of a way through the book. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed it. And I'll be back to read chapter 16. Chapter 16 is a cool chapter. So okay, chapter 16 is another chapter related to staff appreciation. Yeah. It starts off with a poem entitled Appreciation Overwhelmed. And then chapter 16, Mandatory Morale, is a real cool chapter. After I read this chapter, after you heard what happened on Staff Appreciation Day, when Preston took all the staff out to lunch, and then Lorenz came and started passing $100 bills out to everybody. Then you heard about the ER. After I read this chapter, you're gonna be like, damn, where is JEK? How can I fill out an application? I want to work there.